We are going to show you how to play Biblimino. Biblimino is a Bible game based on the 66 books of the Bible. It can be played with 2 to 8 players. We are going to play now with 6 players. The player who has Genesis starts the game with any piece of his choice. The player who has Genesis starts the game with Obadiah. Obadiah is book number 31. It has 1 chapter for a total of 32 points. We are going to place Obadiah. And the player, because the player starts first, he makes 300 points for starting first, plus the amount of Obadiah, which is 31 plus 1 equal 32. Remember, 31, Obadiah is book number 31 in the Bible. It has 1 chapter for a total of 32 points. This player who starts first just makes 332 points. And the player is going to mark his points 32 points. Let's say like 332 points. 332 points. Player number 2. We are going to go clockwise. The player who comes next after the player who plays Obadiah gonna play next. Player number 2. Player number 2 plays Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy is book number 5. It has 34 chapters for a total of 39 points. This player, second player, just makes 39 points. And he marks the 39 points on his mark. Player number 3. Player number 3 is looking at all his books, so he can choose which book to play. Player number 3 plays 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians is book number 47. It has 13 chapters for a total of 60 points. 2 Corinthians. And player number 3 makes 60 points. Player number 4. Player number 4 plays Hosea. Hosea is book number 28. It has 14 chapters for a total of 42 points. Hosea.
Can we start on
Hosea. 42 points for Hosea. Next. Player number 5. Player number 5 is looking at all the books that she has before playing one book. Player number... Yes. We have 4 players already played. If you play next to a book that is already played, you have a bonus of 100 points. Player number 5 plays the book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah is book number 23, has 66 chapters for a total of 89 points. Player number 5 just makes 89 points. Player number 6. Player number 6 plays Ecclesiastes for a total of 33 points. Because Ecclesiastes is book number 21. It has 12 chapters, total 33 points. Now the round is finished. Each player plays a book. Now, the player who makes more points in the round wins the round. And because the player wins the round, he has a bonus of 150 points. So the player who played Obadiah, made 332 points. So this is the player with most points in the round. So this player just wins the round, and he's gonna mark his mark with 150 points for winning the round. And this player also is going to start the second round. He marks his points and he's going to start the second round. Player number 1 plays 1 Peter. 1 Peter is 1 Peter. 1 Peter is book number 60 in the Bible. It has 5 chapters for a total of 65 points. He's leading with 65 points. Player number 2. Player number 2 plays Numbers. Numbers, it's book number 4 with 36 chapters for a total of 40 points. But look, player number 2 plays next to Deuteronomy that is already played. Because of that, this player makes 140 points. Book number 4, Numbers, 36 chapters for a total of 40 points. But because he plays next to Deuteronomy that was already played, this player just makes 140 points. And now this player is leading the round. Player number 3 plays Joshua. Player number 3 plays Joshua. Joshua is book number 6 with 24 chapters for a total of 30 points. But because the player plays Joshua next to Deuteronomy, he makes a bonus of 100 points for a total of 130 points. All right, the next player plays the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is book number 20. It has 31 chapters for a total of 51 points. Look, he plays next to Ecclesiastes. Because of that, he makes 151 points. And now, this player is leading the game with more points, 151. Remember, always keep in mind who is leading the round. And the player who is leading the round holds the pen to show that he has the power. Next player. The next player plays Galatians. Galatians, book number 48. It has 6 chapters for a total of 54 points. But look at that. Player just plays Galatians next to 2 Corinthians for a total of 154 points. With that, she is leading the round. Next player. 154. All right. Song of Songs. Wow. Look at that. This player just makes a bonus of 300 points because the player plays in between of 2 books already played, in between of Isaiah and Ecclesiastes. So when playing in between of 2 books already played, the player makes 300 points plus the points listed on the piece, which is 30. So with that piece, the player makes 330 points. Remember, because the player plays in between of the 2 books, he makes 300 plus the value of the piece, which is 22 plus 8 equal 30, makes a total of 330. And this player is leading the round. Because she's the last player to play in the round and she makes 330, she's winning the round. So this player, for winning the round, he's going to mark 150 points more. And she is going to add 150 points more to her mark for winning the round with 330 points. And she is going to start the next round. She adds the 150 points and she's going to start the next round. The player is decided, taking the time to choose which book to play, because we have several books already played. The player is trying to see which book to play to make more points, because when you play next to another book, you make 100 more points. Or if you play in between, or if you can create your middle to play in between of two already played, so you make you make most points. The player decides to play Revelation. Revelation is book number 66. It has 22 chapters for a total of 88 points. Play by itself. It's only the point listed on the piece. 88 points. Next player. Next player plays the book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah is book number 16. It has 13 chapters for a total of 29 points. Play by itself, it's only make the points listed on the piece, which is 29. And then the player who plays the Revelation with 88 points is now leading the round. Next player. Next player plays the book of Job. The book of Job, book number 18. It has 42 chapters for a total of 60. Played by itself. This player makes 60 points. So far, a player who has 88 points is leading the round. Next player. All right, First Corinthians. Play next to Second Corinthians for a total of 162 points. Book number 46 plus 16 equals 62, and plays next to Second Corinthians. The player makes 162 points. And now remember, see that this player now is leading the round. This player is leading the round with 162 points. Next player. Ephesians. Next player plays Ephesians. Book number 49. It has 6 chapters for a total of 55 points. Ephesians play next to Galatians. This player makes 155 points. The player who plays Second Corinthians is still leading with 162. Next player plays 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel, play by itself. This is book number 10. It has 24 chapters for a total of 34 points. This player only makes the point listed on the piece. The round is finished. Who wins the round? The player who makes 162 points wins the round. And this player gonna add to his mark 150 points, and he's gonna start the next round. He's looking. He's gonna start the next round because he wins. They are marking their points to make sure their mark is correct. All right, player is decided to start. Player number 6 is ready to play the book of Jude. Decided to play the book of Jude. The book of Jude is book 65. It has 1 chapter for a total of 66. But look, this player plays the book of Jude next to Revelation already played. And this player just makes 166 points. Number 2. Next player. Next player plays the book of Colossians. Colossians is book number 51. It has 4 chapters for a total of 55 points. And the player makes 55 points. Next player. The player who makes the 166 points is still leading the round. Remember. Next player. Looking at all the books. because you want to make the best bet. You want to play the best book or the book that will make you make the most points. So every player is looking at the books to see which one to play. And the next player is about to play. Still looking. Look at that. All the books we have now. All the openings we have. That if you play one, you're gonna make some extra points. Remember, when you play by itself, you make the points listed on the piece. When you play next to another book, you make 100 and 100 plus the points listed. The player decided to play 2 Peter. 2 Peter is book 61, and it has 3 chapters for a total of 64 points played next to 1 Peter, and the player just make 164 points. The player with 166 points is still leading the round. Next player. This player decided to play 1 Kings for a total of 33 points. 11 is book number 11. It has 22 chapters for a total of 33. Book 11, 22 chapters for a total of 33. Played next to 2 Samuel. This player just make 133 points. Player with 160 points is still leading. Next player. Next player plays the book of Ruth. Book of Ruth. Book number 8. It has 4 chapters for a total of 12 points. Plays by itself. Player just make the 12 points listed on the book of Ruth. The book of Philippians. Philippians is book number 50th. It has 4 chapters for a total of 54 points. But look, Ephesians already played. Colossians already played. The player is playing in between of the two. This player just make a 354 points. Therefore, he's leading the round. And he's the last player to play. So the round is finished. And the player who played Philippians wins the round for a total of 354 points. And then we ask all the players now to count the pieces, because each of the players should have the same amount of pieces. And I believe they have 7 pieces left. So we're going to continue with the round. We are going to continue. The player who wins the round with 354 points, playing the book of Philippians, is going to start the game with the book of Judges. Judges, look at that. Judges. We have Judges here played in between of Joshua and Ruth for a total of 328. You see, Judges, book number 7. It has 21 chapters for a total of 28 points. But because it is played in between of Joshua and Ruth, the player makes 328 points. Next player. Yes, he added the 150 to his mark. And then he's leading now with 328 points. Let's see the next player. 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel, again, this player is played 1 Samuel in between of 2 books already played, in between of 2 Samuel and Ruth, and the book of Ruth, for a total of 340. So this player is leading the round now because he just beat the other one, making 320. Next player. Next player is playing now. He decides to play the book of Jonah. Jonah is book number 32. It has 4 chapters for a total of 36. But look at that. Plays next to Nehemiah. It has a total of 136 points. It is played in 136 points. All right, so next player. This player with 340 is still leading. Next player plays the book of James. The book of James is book number 59. It has 5 chapters for a total of 64 points. But look, 1 Peter is already played. The player decides to play next to 1 Peter, to 1 Peter. So this player just make 164 points. Now, next player. The player with 340 is still leading, and it has the pen that shows the power. Now, next player plays the book of 2 Kings. Look, 1 Kings already played. The player plays 2 Kings next to 1 Kings, makes a total of 137 points. 2 Kings is book number 12. It has 25 chapters for a total of 37, but plus the 100 played, because it is played next to the 1 Kings, it makes like a total of 137 points. Next player plays the book of Esther. Esther is book number 17. It has 10 chapters for a total of 27 points. But look, the book of Job is played, the book of Nehemiah is played, and the player is playing in between of 2 books already played. This player just make 327 points. But remember, the player who makes more points has 340 points. So now the round is finished. So the player who owns the pen has more points. He wins the round, and he adds to his mark 150 points, and he will start the next round. So whoever wins the rounds add 150 points to the mark and starts the new round, or if you want to call it the next round. Now the player who wins or who won the round is going to start. He decides to play the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah is book number 24. It has 52 chapters for a total of 76 points. But look, played next to Isaiah. This player just make 176 points. He's leading the round with 176 points. First, so far. Second player, the book of Ezra. Ezra is book number 15 with plus 10 chapters for a total of 25 points. But look, Ezra is played next to Nehemiah for a total of 125 points. The player with 176 is still leading. Next player, Lamentations. Lamentations 25. It's a book number 25. It has 5 chapters for a total of 30 points. Played next to Jeremiah. It has a total of 133 points. 130 points. The player who played Jeremiah is still leading with 176. Next player. Next player. We're looking at all the board and see which one is the best book to play now. We have several books already played, and each player is deciding now which one to play next. Looking at all the books, you can hear the noise of all the books. Okay. All right, Leviticus. Played next to Numbers. Leviticus is book number 3 in the Bible. It has 27 chapters for a total of 30 points. But playing next to Numbers, the player just makes 130 points. Next player. All right. Next player plays the book of 1 Thessalonians for 1 Thessalonians for a total of 57 points. 1 Thessalonians, book number 52. It has 5 chapters for a total of 57 points. And the player plays next to Colossians. It makes 157 points. Next player. And that will be the last player. No, the player who has 176 is still leading. 76? 176 is still leading. Next player. Player play the book of Psalm. Where is it? Yes, it's played now in between of two books already played. The book of Job and the book of Proverbs. Some play in between. This player is making an gigantic amount of points. It makes 300 plus the amount of sum, which is 169 points, for a total of 469 points. That lets you know that this player is leading the round. So Psalm is the book number 19 in the Bible. It has 150 Psalms, if you want, 150 chapters, if you want to call it like that, for a total of 169 points, making a total of 469. This player makes more points and the most points in the round, and he wins the round. And this player the round is finished. This player just wins the round with a 469. He's gonna add to his mark 150 points and we'll start the next round. He decided to play the book of Amos. Amos is book number 30th. It has 9 chapters for a total of 39 points. Played next to Obadiah for a total of 139. Is leading with 139. Next player. Next player plays the book of Exodus. Exodus is book number 2. It has 40 chapters for a total of 42 points. Look, played next to Leviticus for a total of 142 points. 142 points. Look, this player is leading the round now. Therefore, he's gonna hold the pen that shows he's in power with 142. Next player. The next player decides to play the book of Romans. The book of Romans is book number 45. It has 16 chapters for a total of 61 points. Placed next to 1 Corinthians for a total of 161. Look, this player is leading, so he has the pen. The player, we're gonna pass the pen to this player right now because this player is leading with 161 points. Next player. Next player is looking. He's looking. He wants to know which one. Gonna make him to have more points. All right. He decided to play the book of Mark. The book of Mark is book number 41. It has 16 chapters.